Holy freak. Holy crap. Do not die. What you are about to watch, sir, is 120 hours of footage that we filmed on this project, shrank down to 20 minutes. So the last 2 weeks, I was editing this video instead of working on the McLaren. Just hope you guys enjoy this video. That's why I make them in the first place. There's no sponsors here. There's nothing. It's just your enjoyment. Let's throw you guys back in time to the start of this project over a year ago, and let's work our way up to present day and show you guys the final Hypercart. Appreciate you guys being here and watching. Hope you enjoy. So K1 Speed sent us this slightly wrecked, slightly damaged go-kart chassis that wasn't designed for outdoor high-performance street use. It was one of their indoor carts, but it still can handle some good speed. They're building a new track in San Diego, and they challenged us to see if we could beat their outdoor Pro Series go-karts. And we're gonna just absolutely freaking destroy them. So let's get this thing cleaned up, the garage cleaned up, and then pull that go-kart in and get to freaking work. Here is the old, crashed indoor go-kart frame that K1 Speed sent us to build from to challenge their brand new outdoor Pro Series karts. Oh yeah! Judging by the condition of this frame, it's pretty clear that they wanted us to have every disadvantage in this race against their best karts. First drive in the go-kart!
The scariest machine you've ever been a part of. Everything about it is a bad idea.
Sending this kart and challenge to us is basically free publicity for them, and they're obviously hoping we can't build a kart faster than theirs. So that's all the reason we need to make a kart that's almost twice as fast and almost twice as powerful as theirs. So we begin removing all the broken and bent parts to officially launch the start of the project. And this was super quick and easy. Go-karts are designed to be extremely simple machines, so there really wasn't much to take apart. But it did teach us a lot about the structure and what we'll be building off of, and allowed us to start forming a game plan for the rest of the project for the powertrain and the overall look.
It has a mounting point for 2 sprockets, which is what we're going to end up capitalizing on.
Which is perfect, yeah.
Matching sprockets on both sides, 1 motor per each. It does turn in independently, but you can actually spin either wheel by using the power from here. So that's cool.
What wasn't as simple is the entire rest of the build. Curt begins his leg of the project with fabrication and powertrain. The first step is to modify the frame to fit the significantly larger powertrain than it had stock. Curt needed to widen and lengthen the battery trays to fit 4 Super Beast modules, and also needed to make the rear stronger and bigger for the much larger mid-drive motors. 2 of the biggest motors QS Motors makes, and those will run via chain to the 2 sprockets on the axle. Luckily for my wallet, my dad had a pile of miscellaneous metal out at his house that we used for this project. A little rusty, but it works great. And I couldn't help but get a shot of where I did my first build series on YouTube. A little cringe watching it back now, but everyone has to start somewhere. The kart in the end is going to outperform $20,000 production karts that do 60 miles per hour. So we also want it to look better than normal go-karts as well. Our design for the body is meant to look as close to a car as possible, given we're making it out of a go-kart chassis with awful proportions. So we needed to add a roll cage and a full wireframe for the body to give it enough structural support. Now begins installing the new powertrain. In this bit of video, you're going to see Lord Curt do an insane amount of complex tasks, which I definitely can't talk you all the way through here. If you're wanting to make an electric powertrain like this yourself on your own, there are more videos on his channel about it in depth, and there are also full-length videos on each section of this project here on my channel. The basics of an electric powertrain, though, are battery, motor, controller, but most of the work is wiring it all together and tuning it to function as one whole unit without any issues. And he's creating all this from scratch, so that's where most of his time is spent. Let's all collectively say thank you, Lord Curt, in the comments for all his wisdom and hard work. He is a true teacher at heart, and he was never formally trained or educated in this, and just learned it all himself for our first project together in 2019. And now he's the go-to source for all this stuff. So that's a pretty cool origin story if you ask me. With everything temporarily tacked in place, we went ahead for the initial tests and the first drive of the powertrain. And like any project that requires this much work and this many components, there are always things to tweak after testing. All right, nice. Steer thing. I think it just skipped a couple teeth on the chain. That's what it sounded like.
It actually, I barely put it down and it was trying to take off.
I could see that.
We need to tighten the chain up somehow.
Oh! Oh! Whoa, whoa, whoa!
It's fast.
Pump it, bro! Pump it!
That's great.
With the powertrain complete and tested, now comes my section of the build: bodywork, paint, and styling. You can see me laying tape tightly across the wireframe Curt made in preparation for fiberglass. Last piece to weld in before finishing bodywork is the headlights, which are headlights from a 2007 Honda CBR 600RR.
Tell me how to adjust the light on the wall.
Gotcha. Bring the back end up like a quarter of an inch and then tilt the front down a little bit. I think the bulbs are probably just sitting wrong. That
Maybe.
the lights are lined up perfectly.
Okay.
But I know the beam is probably wrong.
Well, that's fine though. Okay.
That's good enough right there.
That's good?
Yep, that's good. Tack that crap. Oh, you know what we're going wrong with?
What's that?
These are motorcycle headlights. One's high beam, one's low beam. The tape had a really hard time staying down in the 100-degree weather of California, which didn't help anything. This was our first time fiberglassing an entire body, so there was really no shortage of mistakes as we started. The first layer is really the most important since that's the foundation each layer will build off of, and that's unfortunate because that was the first layer of fiberglass we had ever laid down, so I had no idea how it worked. Naturally, it was extremely wavy with bubbles in it, but hey, it was a learning experience and we did, in fact, learn a lot. Some spots I had to cut out and repair, but overall it was good enough for the project and was a visible testament to trying new things. What skills I lacked in fiberglass, my skills in bodywork made up. Realize, of course, the bodywork won't be perfect on such a wavy base, but 2 layers of body filler and a thick layer of glazing putty hid a lot of the imperfections. 10 of 10, I don't recommend getting body filler dust all over your cars and garage. It's not much fun to clean off. And it's still here to this day. So it was time for paint, and I was genuinely excited for this because this was my first professional paint job I had ever done. I upgraded the air compressor, got some nice spray guns, bought some expensive paint and primer and clear coat, and everything else I needed to pull it off. I also bought a freaking sweet inflatable paint booth from Amazon. It was the larger size you could buy, so I could drive cars in here if I need to in the future, but it was still only like $700 to my door. And it worked very, very well for this first paint job. Ventilation could be better, but I'm not gonna complain for the price and for something I could improve on my own if I wanted to. Painting the frame was a much larger task than I anticipated. There are so many thin bars and tubes to paint, and those don't paint the same way as large panels do, let me tell you. It took a long time to do. But with that done, I moved on to my very first time mixing primer, mixing paint, and mixing clear coat, and laying it down with a real spray gun and controlled airflow. And man, I've been missing out this whole time until now. So easy to get incredible results if you understand what you're doing. It's actually quite formulaic, so it's a bit more straightforward than I thought it would be. Just like Paint Society said, don't overthink it, it's just paint. And yes, close up, it still looks pretty trash. But that's because the base panels were pretty trash. The paint itself feels like a real car and is very durable and very slick to the touch. With all that done, the cart was complete. It just needed to be reassembled.
So obviously we're done with it now. This is completely finished, just pending body panels going on. Before we do that though, we'll do a quick walkthrough of all the different really main systems and changes. So nothing changed with the battery. This is still the Headway 38140. I think it's 38140. It's a normal 8 amp hour cell, discharge 200 amps each. These are super powerful. We got 4 modules of those, 102 volts nominal. Half on each side. Those then go through shunts, contactors, all the standard electronic safety and measurement stuff, but ultimately then feed into our dual controllers. We finally got these officially tuned, full power. We were struggling with that last time. We had to get an old version of the app and use an Android, and it was all kind of a hassle. They shipped us out some old models that ended up not having support anymore, so we had to really troubleshoot that. Those then go into the QS 180-90H. These are the largest mid-drive motors that QS makes, 40 pounds, 45 pounds each, something like that. And those both run chains down, tuned together to our axle, and put just a ton of power down. All visible now with our viewing window and underglow. This looks super sweet when the body's on and you can just look through this window here. General body underglow, controllable in color, and you can make it do like light shows, things like that. That's all controlled from our little module up here.
This was such an anticipated moment for the project. We had spent weeks and months at a time waiting for parts, waiting for responses for software issues, and just a lot more than that. Over a year ago, we started this project, and now, a year later, it's finally finished. And while it isn't perfect and it's a little rough around the edges, it's an absolute menace and a whole new world to drive. This thing is a stone cold K1 speed killer. What an insane privilege it is to build things like this alongside my brother. So cool. I used to think my cars were fast, and then I took one drive in this thing, and my mind was changed real quick. This thing is fast.
So if you've been following along and you knew what was going on, originally we had ND96 850 controllers in here, seated kind of on the deck about like this orientation, two of them side by side. Ended up, because these are old run, and there was a new version of the app that required binding and all this weird stuff that took a long time to sort through. There's a whole story on that. We ended up having to get new ones because these kind of bricked themselves. It was incompatibility. These are the new ones, 96 1800. So they're a little over double the power overall, but they were bigger. So we had to build a little vertical bar. So this is the current way this sits, just so you guys see what's currently in here. We now have ND96 1800 controllers seated side by side and a whole new wiring set that goes to it. We're gonna take it for a test run and see how it plays out. But pretty exciting. Yeah. It's been a long time getting to this point. A lot of shipping time, troubleshooting time, support time, and we're here ready to go.
Wow, that's aggressive.
Yeah.
Shoot, man.
Pretty good, huh?
Holy freak. Holy crap. Do not die. Please do not die. My adrenaline's pumping from that. Wow.
Did it look fast?
Homie.
I was only going 70. But it didn't feel unstable, and it was a bumpy road.
Yeah.
I could have probably been safe hitting 80, but I didn't want to push it right there. But it was not at all struggling. This thing has like RPM to spare. 100 will be easy.
That is freaking crazy.
Did it look pretty cool?
It looked sketchy. It looked crazy. I can't wait to review that clip. Yes. Holy crap. My adrenaline is pumping from that.
I would hit a bump and I would feel like,
oh my goodness,
the whole thing would go, but like, it stayed straight. And for how short the wheelbase is, and all we have on here on this like 40-mile-an-hour cart is a steering damper, it actually did really good. I felt good about it. On a real road, you don't realize how fast you can hit 60. I was just like cruising the whole strip, waiting to like pass you.
That's insane.
I was not like, when I passed by, there was like no throttle on. I was just cruising at 70. Dude, I wasn't trying to do anything.
That's insane.
This thing had so much more in the tank.
Wow.
I just had a bumpy road.
For sure.
And I didn't want to push it. Yeah. It was the first real pass going like over 50 miles an hour.
All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Now you've seen at least a couple quick passes of it. We still have some tuning work to do. It's not over, so
there's a couple of things that are even more than tuning.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's ready to go.
Sent us dead batteries.
This is like behind the scenes content. I'll do more on my channel, but one of the Super Beast modules had one cell that discharges at it has like 30% the capacity of the rest of them. So I'm gonna have to take it apart, disassemble the module, replace 6 cells. Yeah. Because it's a whole group that's bad, and then we'll get that solved. I'm still working with QS Motors on one little glitch that one of the motors is having.
Yeah.
But it's all stuff that will be solved, and it's ready to rock. It's like 2 days of work of me doing those 2 problems. And we haven't hit the top speed, but it will be at least 100. We have to go to some track with a smoother road.
Absolutely,
I could have got close and survived, but there's like that 1% chance I don't.
Yeah, it's been a long project. It really has. We've just been waiting on one thing after another for this, and but it's finally done. Super, super cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you could just smash that like button before you head out, that would be awesome. And we'll catch you next time. If you guys need more resources, here's a link to Curt's channel, and there's more videos on my channel. All the links to the parts are in the description below. Check it out. Appreciate you guys. See you next time.